It's okay. Emily, I feel like I know your dinner routine at this point. We always get to see you in your process. I'm gonna see if I have any messages from people saying they want to be here but can't get on. Did you all have an easy time getting on? No messages. Shalom, Hannah. Good to see you, Melissa. I feel like I have not said hi to you, but hello. So Joe and Susie are gonna lead us here. We are expecting a few more folks, um, but let me know when you all want to get started.
Let's give it until like 8:04. Want to be respectful for people's time who are here, so, but we'll delay a minute or two. And hopefully tonight is a quick just overview, lots of questions and answers. We want to not talk at you, but have conversations with you. So
Summer's here too. Love it. Great. Um, well, I certainly want to welcome people tonight. I know that it has been a busy Monday, and we appreciate folks being here. We know that advocacy doesn't just happen in meetings. We know it doesn't just happen in face-to-face conversations, but it happens a lot of different places, including on social media. And we are really lucky today to be joined by two of Zero to Three's um, experts on this, Joe Whedon and Susie Tam. Susie's really our guru here, but Joe has a lot to do with the things we do on policy. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
thanks everyone for taking a little bit of time with us tonight. Like as I just said, we'll try to make this as interactive and as engaging and as quick as possible, recognizing that we all have other obligations and or little ones around. Um, Gonna walk through a quick little PowerPoint. But I think the first thing is just always, we always want to go through an agenda. We'll talk a little bit about just who we are. Susie will introduce yourself. Hopefully, you recognize me from a couple of weeks ago, but I'll do a quick little intro. We'll talk a little bit about your story and then how we would like to help you share it on social and why that's important. Hopefully, there's not anything here that isn't new to you. And I'm, of course, looking at the wrong screen, so I didn't realize that I had moved that forward, or had not moved that forward. When we talk about our communications team here at Zero to Three, it's not just me. I'm often going to be the person you see, but we have a whole team. This is just a fraction of it. I think there's 18 or 19 of us on the communication staff. So we're all working behind the scenes in order to make sure that what you say is heard, that it's heard by the right people, and that those messages are effective. And I wanted to take a minute. Susie, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hey everyone, I'm Susie and I am the communication specialist for 0 to 3. And if you follow us on social media, I am probably the one behind everything that's posted there, doing the commenting. And I work with my team for the graphics and videos and things like that. And I'm very excited to work with all of you and share your story to the nation about how important it is to listen to our families' voices.
And Susie is being modest. Susie is all things social media for us. As Amanda said, I work a lot behind the scenes, but a lot of my direction is Susie, hey, can you make this interesting? Can you make this cute? And she always does a great job. Um, As we talked about last, well, and again, Joe Whedon, Senior Communications Manager. My job here is to coordinate all things across our communications team. These folks here, as well as others that you'll either meet at Strolling Thunder or who will continue operating behind the scenes, and to make sure that our message resonates with as many people as possible, that they hear and see what we're saying. We talked a little bit last time about my story and why I do this work. But we want to like reiterate as we kick off tonight, just that when we think about advocacy at 0 to 3, we're always thinking about these two buckets, your ability to share and prepare your personal story and about building relationships with those who make decisions. So what we're doing today as we talk about social media is really thinking about those two buckets. How do you share in a way that's authentic for you, um, and in a way that will build relationships and influence policy? When we asked to share, I know you all applied because of Strolling Thunder and the rally and the opportunities to meet with your congressional members. But it's much more. It's really, when we think internally about Strolling Thunder, we really think it's about how we help you build power among parents, how we build a movement to change narratives about what babies need, what parents need, what families need, and how we can make America the best place to raise a baby. It's not a 1 day, it's not a 1 year. We'll often talk about your year of advocacy, but it's a lifetime of helping you or you helping others make sure your voice is heard. And again, like every story, we want it to be authentically yours. Every story, mine, Susie's, Amanda's, Jared's, everybody that you'll hear from. Our story starts at the beginning. It starts with you, your experiences, and for Strolling Thunder, it starts with your baby. Storytelling, we talked about this. This is a repeat from last time where we really want to ensure that your stories are engaging the audience. They're memorable, they foster empathy and encourage people to act. Those are the basics of all stories. And as we dive into social media here in a second, you'll see those themes really repeated. Um, and there we go. Um, And we talked last time about how storytelling is one of the most powerful tools we have. Facts and data are important, but your stories, your personal experience really makes everything real. It helps people see beyond the numbers and see the real impact that things, that policies, that funding decisions, that all the things that we in our ivory tower here in Washington, D.C., sometimes take for granted. It's those personal stories that really ground us. And when we're talking about social media, those same elements are there. We want to introduce who you are. On social, you'll build a following, so you don't have to introduce yourself each time because people will get to know you. But you want to talk about the problem, the solution, the unique value that you bring to the conversation, and then always, always, always the ask, what do you want people to do? And for social media, you really want to lead with the hook. I tell stories back when I started in this business, the average news clip on CBS Evening News was something like 18 seconds. Today, it's less than eight. You've got to start with that hook. You've got to get people interested, or they're not going to stick around and listen to more that you have to say or read more. So it's really important to lead with that hook. And emotion and authenticity are really key to making sure that people pay attention and are driven to act. And again, these same tips for storytelling apply here. Um, and I think the most important one to really just touch upon as we're here together tonight is know your audience. Like we often say, and I fight this battle a lot. I had a conversation today. Oh, we're doing this for advocates. Well, who is that? Who really is that? Is that organizations? Is that people like me in comms positions in organizations? Is that individuals out in the state? Who is your audience? For so much of your storytelling, your audience is going to be one of two things, either your policymaker, other elected officials, or the other bucket are other parents, people who you want to share your story with, people who also should be being mobilized. And then as we transition to social media, and I'll turn it over to Susie a little bit here, just a second here. Why do we use social media? It's really just a way to share with others and let others know that they're not alone. I think so much of this work is really about letting people know that they're not fighting these battles alone. Over the last couple of decades, 50 years in America, we've gone from having these great social clubs where people can meet each other and get to know each other and having relationships in their schools and our communities to being online. And whether or not that's good or bad, not for me to judge, it's where we're at. But people are increasingly isolated. And the more that we can show them that others are facing the same problems and encourage them to speak up and speak out, the better. And that's a part of what we really want Strolling Thunder to be. And our channels, you post, tag us, you're going to reach 300,000 people across our platforms. So we have a good reach and we're continuing to work and close. And Susie, tell me if these numbers are dated. But we have a good reach and we're constantly working to expand and we get hundreds of thousands, millions of views on some posts. I'll turn it over to Susie to talk a little about social media and why we want people to post and why it's important to include videos and other things. Susie, anything you want to lead with, and then we'll dive back into the Prizzy here.
No, the slide is fine. Yeah, social is here, whether you love it or hate it. I'm on it, whether I love it or hate it. I love it. Obviously, I do it for my job because I think it's a really important tool to reach people you wouldn't otherwise. People tune out commercials, people tune out YouTube ads, but they look at their feed. This is what a lot of people do before they go to bed. This is what people do to give their brain a break. And the more we can stop them in their tracks and teach them something and share the real stories of what families are going through, the better. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself because I always feel like a hypocrite when I tell people to share their stories and nobody knows my own stories. So I moved across an ocean and over a mountain to get my son what he needed. We are originally from Hawaii, and it was way too expensive to be able to afford to live there. A house is $1 million at minimum. We don't have $1 million, and we probably never will. So we moved over to Nevada, otherwise known as the Ninth Island, when my son was one. And there's a ton of Hawaii people there, but we started to notice some signs of developmental delays and speech delays in our son. And we went through early intervention, even if our pediatrician didn't recommend it. And what they could give us was a once a month, 45-minute speech therapy session, and we couldn't get into OT because they just didn't have the staffing. It took a long time. We were actually pretty fortunate. It just took us a few months to get an autism diagnosis just past the age of 2, but other people I know were on the list for 2 years. With all of that, knowing how much we struggled there, we made another choice, did a ton of research, and moved to Colorado. So we moved over a mountain, drove over, re-upped our family, our pets, to a whole nother state just to get our son the support he needed, which he's doing fantastically here. But all of that to say is I understand what a lot of families go through. I get the struggles, and I want to be able to tell your story so the nation knows that my story is not unique. Your story is not unique. It's not always a happy story, but it happens to so many of us. And I want to share the triumphs of your family, things that you have done, things that you have accomplished that you've seen go well. Think how program policies can actually enact change when they're done right. And we want to show them, hey, this works when we actually put an effort into it. So back to the slide, why is video important on social media? It's just everywhere. That's people are in the TikTok era. People who aren't on TikTok are watching Reels. LinkedIn is trying to get onto the video trend. YouTube has gone to shorts, so there's long form and short form. It's just really important right now. And a lot of the social media platform algorithms do favor video. So it's why it's very important. However, as we've gotten into this video age, our attention spans have shrunk. We are used to watching 10 to 15 seconds of videos and scrolling on by. That's a problem, but it's not something that is going to be changed anytime soon. So, as Joe said, we need that hook. We also need authenticity. People are not stopping to watch polished corporate videos. They're stopping to watch real people talk about their real lives. And that's really important because I think what a lot of people are looking for, especially past the COVID era, especially when many of us have moved states just to get our family what we need, we're finding our villages less and we're finding those villages now online. And we're connecting with people online and on TikTok. And by contributing our voices, all of the wonderful Strolling Thunder family voices, we're letting people know they're not alone. We are their community, as much as of a community as we can be. So that fosters that human connection with our audiences. So we really want them to feel like we understand, and we want them to take that action to pick up the phone and call their Congress member. Next slide, please, Joe. What tools can you use to record your video well? We all probably have this. We've all got our phones. That's usually the best thing to use to record. You can do a screen record on your computer, but that orientation is just not the best. And with the way that phone cameras are now, they take really good video. So we always suggest just use your phone, record in that portrait vertical orientation, up. That's how we watch all our videos now in this kind of a way. Set your phone on a solid surface. I have like propped up books at my desktop in front of me so my phone can be high enough. I've done all kinds of stuff, but just, prop it up somewhere. You can hold the phone selfie style, just something that's showing your face. And of course, wipe the lens because I don't know about you, my son grabs my phone often. And I also have a dog who licks my phone. So my front facing camera and back facing camera are really blurry. So just make sure you wipe the lens a little bit before you start recording. So really simple, use the tools you have. Where should you record? And I know this can be easier said than done when you've got young kids and maybe pets and maybe partners and other family members, but try to go to a quiet place. We don't mind if your kids pop in. My son pops in all the time. That's fine, but try not to be in the middle of Coachella where there's music blasting and crowds. Someplace at least on the quiet side where people can hear your voice. Use a natural light. Being outside is great. Being in front of a window where the light is shining on your face and not backlit behind you. That's always great to do. You can walk. We see a lot of videos now. People are walking through the park. We're walking somewhere. You can do that if you're outside. Let's say you just dropped your child off at childcare and you decide you want to go for a walk at the park with your other little one, you can clip it on your stroller. So while you're strolling, you can do a video but don't do it while you drive, please. That's my disclaimer. No recording while you're driving because that's very dangerous. How do you frame yourself? So 3 feet away. So what I ask and make some space around you. You don't want your face to be the only thing on the camera. It looks kind of awkward. And a lot of tools like CapCut or Instagram Reels or Instagram Edits, which is what Instagram is now using to do video editing, they let you allow captions, and captions are great because they're, an accessibility thing. We want people to be able to read subtitles if they can't hear. So you want to have that space around your body so you don't have captions right in front of your face. Sit up straight, position the camera eye level, and then leave some room at the top and bottom to add text if you want text, like that guy on this. Uh, Oh my God, PowerPoint. Sorry, my brain blips out past 5 p.m. Framing 101, make sure that you have enough space to add text where you want to. Do you need to rehearse? No, please, please do not rehearse. You're talking about what you know. You can tell when someone has a script. It sounds like a script. They start sounding like a corporate video, when you're forced to watch it and you're learning all about your workplace and the rules and everything. And it's this very like stilted, monotone, overthought script. Don't do that. Just talk about what you know. Let your passions take you, just like you're chatting with a friend, basically. We want that conversational, no scripts. Try to capture attention in a few first seconds. So just pretend that you're calling your bestie on the phone and that you're having a conversation with them, or I guess you're FaceTiming them would make more sense. Pretend that you're FaceTiming your best friend and that you're just telling them a story. That's like the best way um, to do it, I think, just to be really comfortable. It doesn't need to be perfect. If you mess up, keep going. If you want to, you can send me the video and I will help you edit. That's what I do many, many times a week. I edit all the videos, so we can edit. We can make you sound great. Don't worry about being perfect ever. And we want you to be real anyway. And who's perfect in reality? Just a recap of those tips and tricks. So be yourselves. You can involve your whole family. I can see some of you have your kids climbing on you, popping into the camera. I see involve them all. Make sure you're in a well-lighted space, film vertically. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't have, you want to take a look over your shoulder. Make sure you don't have anything super personal hanging out in the background that's going to be all over cameras. Use the Strolling Thunder hashtag, tag us. So if you post it on your own socials, I'll know it's there. So I can hit the repost button, share it to our stories, make a comment, whatever we need to. If you need help, if you have an idea, but you're not sure, if you should go for it, ask us. I love bouncing ideas. Joe at this point is probably really used to me like pitching really strange ideas to him. I like pitch everything and anything to people. It's always good to try, and just ping us if you have a question about it or you need help or you want to run an idea. And most of all, just have fun. Social media. Okay, it's not always fun, but it's also a good place to vent in a smart way, or in a way that we're allowed to. Some examples I have. So these are some of the families we have had over the last 2 or 3 years. You can see the different storytelling styles. Rochelle was a video that we posted. We had a Humans of New York style story. We had a few people post when they were at Strolling Thunder. So there's many different types of storytelling that our families have done. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so here I think we can go in two ways. Amanda, tell us what you want us to do. We can show a few clips, or we can take any questions and talk about an opportunity that we have for families.
I think it'd be great to see a few clips, but I want to make sure that that sounds good. I can see Melissa and Emily on camera. Does that sound good to you all? Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can get these to play.
Yeah, I'd love some examples. Would be great.
And I ended up at the White House. As some of you already know, we were invited by 0 to 3 to represent Pennsylvania families and young children. And then we were selected to go and visit the White House, where Lukey and many of his friends were making some noise. First stop was the White House yesterday, and now we're on our way to Congress. Thank you, 0 to 3, for such an incredible opportunity. You're probably wondering how Luke, my mom, and I ended.
And here's an example that's more photo-based, where we've got a caption and we've got the scrolling through of a selection of photos from their time meeting with their members. And that's a State House, not DC.
Trachelle Dumas. I am a registered nurse, a maternal health advocate, the founder of A Light After Nine, a 9-time pregnancy loss survivor, and the mother of a now 2-year-old pot-bellied toddler. I want to share a piece of my story with you today. After enduring 9 heartbreaking pregnancy losses, I gave birth to my miracle baby, Nazaire. But even in that joy, I carried a weight of grief, trauma, and emotional exhaustion. And what many don't realize is that the mental health of our babies and toddlers is directly tied to maternal mental health. And while I was breastfeeding, I was battling anxiety. I was nurturing my baby while silently navigating postpartum anxiety. And that unspoken struggle doesn't stay hidden. It echoes in the lives of our children, our babies. And babies thrive when their caregivers are supported emotionally and emotionally well and cared for too. And we need real policy change, universal access to maternal mental health services, paid parental leave, and trauma-informed postpartum care. So this is my message in a bottle for Congress. If you want healthier babies, start by investing in healthier mothers, because maternal mental health is a public health issue. We can't afford to wait.
You tell them every single word of your story. They deserve to know how you feel and what you think. And so we want them to feel and we want them to know what is important.
We're here from Florida with Vivian to advocate for our Head Start program.
This is not the time for partisanship. Kids don't know partisanship. These babies don't know Republican or Democrat. So
we definitely need these programs to survive, and without these programs, a lot of people are going to get hurt when it comes down to not being able to go to the doctor and not being able to afford food.
Think babies. It supports families and our community.
So I think we'll pause here and open it up for questions. I think as you see there, we've got examples that are produced where we've got clips coming from multiple different families, things we record on your tour, on your visit here to DC. We'll be recording in your video visits with members and our rally, virtual and in person that we have. We've got things that are from the heart, just speaking. We've got photos of kids with a caption. There's a million different ways. But all the elements are there. You build a relationship through sharing your story with your listeners. You have that hook and the passionate call to action. And that's what we're asking you to help us do is spread the word, share your stories, and encourage others to take half the step that you've taken. There are questions, comments. We have an opportunity for families as well that we want to talk about in a moment. But before we do that, we'd love to get any reaction, thoughts, or anything else.
I have a quick question. It seems like a lot of the examples you showed were people sharing about their actual experience, sharing with or traveling to DC and doing the Strolling Thunder event. Um, would you encourage us to post as well leading up to the event? And what are some ideas of how we could share that?
I can jump in on that. Yeah, it's and so I will preface this by saying not all of our families will be flying to DC. The virtual experience is just as important. Any way that we can get our members of Congress to hear our families is as important as the other. And yes, we actually want you to share your story prior to Strolling Thunder, post Strolling Thunder. It is a very important year. It's the midterms. So we really want to get these stories out there. So, just talking about your experience, what you've gone through, what your family has gone through, if there's any programs that you've used personally that has made a difference, if there's something that you struggled with. I know what was big in the news was childcare, the lack of affordability and the miles long waiting lists, and many childcare deserts. Talk about that. If you were a recipient of infant and early childhood mental health, or you struggled with your own mental health postpartum or during pregnancy, that's something else you can talk about. Really anything that shows Congress how important investing in families and babies in the first 3 years is, because I don't think that I don't think a lot of people quite understand that how important these first 3 years are. They set up your foundation for life. And we, despite being, what is it, Joe? How many is it? 3.6% of the population, babies. They only receive 1.59% of the federal funding, and that's not enough. This is setting people up for, the rest of their lives as the foundation. So anything that we can convince them and let them know that they need to invest funds into babies and families is important. So however you want to share your story, whether it's a triumph, whether it's a struggle, just something that you've gone through, that we really need them to focus on is how you can do it. You can do it in a humorous way. You can do a reaction. Maybe you see a news article and you want to talk about that. Go ahead and do that. People do that. We post those all the time. If you saw something on the news, or maybe you're even watching Grey's Anatomy. That's something that I watch all the time. And, there's a lot of issues that are relatable. I think there's an insurance thing right now. We'll talk about that, just anything that you can kind of be like, this made me think, and, talk about it. Just be you. So that's,
Well,
yeah.
and to be 100% honest, we've, as families, the last couple of years, as social media has become more and more a part of our life, to share leading up to the event and talk about some of the everyday challenges that they're having. And we haven't gotten a ton of content, so we've
Mhm.
done and we've featured and packaged the content we do have. Which brings us to, quite frankly, what I wanted to make sure that we talked a little bit about here. We have an opportunity new this year. We want to work with 3 to 5 families, of you, to share your story in a different way. We'll provide a stipend, a camera mount, a ring light. If you need something else, ask. We may be able to do it. But This was originally thought of like as a stroller tour, Strolling Thunder. So attach the camera to your stroller, go for a walk, and tell us what happened today. What you're thinking about, the challenge that you would like Congress to address. Whatever it is, it could be just a quiet walk with your baby. We would love to get that. And we want to make it worth your while to do that. And again, like everything we do, everything that we pull together, we will work with you to make sure it's in your voice and authentic and you approve. So this is a new idea, new project that we're really trying to do because I really think as we've talked about, as we've heard families, like there are so many people out there who are experiencing the same things and are afraid to say it. So we want to give voice to you, to them, to everyone, and hopefully we force Congress to act, or at least we force some tough conversations in the midterm elections. So what we're asking, we're looking for 3 to 5 social media ambassadors. We'd love to get just a content idea of what you think you would do for the next couple of months, a couple of recordings a month, and the content you would send us, the types of things you're interested in sharing with us. And we'll make our decisions based on, how it fits and what we think we can accomplish with it. Susie will make those decisions, not me. And then we'll take and we'll work with you to figure out what pace works for you, what style of videos, what styles of content are most effective and comfortable for you.
Be creative. Um, have fun with it. It's not about being a influencer. Well, let me back that up. It is about being an influencer, but you're influencing members of Congress, not popularity on social media. So, the right kind of influencer that we need right now.
And I'll just reiterate, we don't know the answer of what type of content is best and what
Hmm.
you would want to or feel comfortable providing. We're open to ideas. We
Mhm.
want to learn from you. We want to engage with you and do something new and different. Arlette?
Hi. My question is, I do a lot of content creation and I run what is Apoyo Especial con Ale, where I educate parents in special education, is in Spanish. So is it okay if I also speak about, because I feel like the Spanish community does not know about Strolling Thunder. So here in Rhode Island, I'm huge about educating the Spanish community, and I already talked to my congressman about it. So is it okay if I post it in Spanish?
Yes, I saw your profile and I was very excited that you spoke in Spanish because I don't speak Spanish, so I can't get that content out there. So, yes, absolutely. We want to reach many different types of people. So that would be something we would be super excited about.
Yeah, we'd love Spanish content in a week or two. I don't know when we're doing the media training, media prep, talking about interviews and other things. One of the requests we have is for people to actually do interviews in Spanish for us. We have a wide network of reporters that we can reach out to and engage, but we need the spokesmen who are comfortable and it's your native language and are passionate about reaching those individuals. My Spanish is super rusty. My kids now talk in Spanish in front of me because they know I can only pick up every like third word.
Any other questions? And if you are worried about things like trolls, which I'm sure if you're on social, you read it, I work really hard to shut them down. I sit there. I have filters on our 0 to 3 page. I keep an eye on it, especially when we post any of our families. I watch it like a hawk as much as I can, and I will protect. I do my best to protect our families and ensure that that doesn't get out of hand. So, It is a part of social media, unfortunately. That's the part that I dislike a lot. But fortunately, because we're 0 to 3, we don't get a ton. Most of our feed is pretty positive, But yeah, so just letting you know that I do watch all of that.
And I dropped Susie's email in the chat if you've got any questions for her
Hmm.
about how we would work with you, what we would do behind the scenes. Feel free to email her. I'll drop my email in the chat as well. If you have questions for me, I'm happy to answer and work with you in any way I can as well. And then we have a link to upload video content if you'd like to submit something. We check this inbox regularly, and when we get it, we will reach back out to confirm we've got it and talk about how we can use it.
I
And we'll make
just
sure that these emails and the link is in your next weekly update.
I just wanted to add, Joe and Susie, and maybe you all would have things that you would jump in here with, but I think I want to make sure that folks are sort of hearing that we see social media as a place for you all to connect with other people and bring them along with you on this experience that you're having. And you can do that privately. You can also do it publicly. And so we want to make sure that social media posts are set to public and that we're talking about that there, if that feels comfortable for you. And then Susie can identify those and support you in getting a few more eyes on them. But we really, the reason or one of the reasons that we are so committed to working with a family with from every state is that we believe that you have the connections there in your states that can support people in moving forward and really being big voices for little kids the ways that you all are doing that. And we are so excited about the potential of social media to support that. I know a lot of people have lots of different experiences with social media, and this might be something new and kind of different. And, we definitely want to protect in all the ways that you want to your privacy. But if you are open to it, we are really excited about the opportunity to kind of bring your first person experience to the folks who are following us and who are following you and sort of trying to figure out how to support your family. So excited.
Emily, I see your question in the chat. So no, if you're posting it on your profile, you don't need our approval. Just a reminder that we are a nonpartisan organization. And as an organization, so for us to reshare your content or to do a collab, we can't back a candidate. That's just, we're not allowed to. Um, and we try, and we're nonpartisan. So we are, the scope of what we can say are within certain boundaries. However, on your own profile, no, it's your profile. Um, I we don't ask for approval. I don't find that authentic. If you need help putting something together, then I'll send something to you for approval, because I want to make sure that I'm not showing you in a light that is untrue. So.
And we've worked with families before who send us stuff and we edit, and then you post on
Mhm.
yours. We've worked
Mhm.
with families who send us stuff and we edit and post on
Mhm.
ours.
Mhm.
All different models are on the table.
Like I said, on Instagram, we've had a number of family use the collab feature, so it'll post on both our profiles, which is always nice because you get it on both sides. So, um, yeah, we do. I repost, I share stories, I all kinds of stuff.
I think a few of you have announced on social.
Yeah.
Yeah. So has that been, have you all done that? And how has that been? Or what have you seen, Susie, that has been?
Oh, I've seen several posts.
I did mine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so, Arlette. Yeah,
I posted my picture, yeah. And I also posted what Strolling Thunder was.
Oh, awesome.
love that.
Yeah, if you post on yours, just make sure, Arlette, I can't remember if I saw yours or not. There was quite a number that came through. Just make sure to tag us, or hashtag Strolling Thunder so I can see it and I can interact with it. Otherwise, I may miss it. Yeah, but yeah, we've had several. I'm looking at my list right now. It's been exciting.
So fun, Emily. What did you do?
Our daughter's being a little noisy, so excuse the background noise. Um, so in our hometown, there's a garage door that someone's painted with the Wyoming flag on it. So we went and took some fun pictures um, in front of that downtown and got some fun like B-roll of Wendy like running around in
Oh,
that area and
cute.
just spinning and we were dressed in like red, white, and blue. So they'll be super cute.
Oh,
But we just haven't had a chance to like type up a thoughtful caption and get them posted yet, but that's coming.
oh, I will keep my eyes open. I am excited for that.
Yeah, and I'll just close with be authentic. Happiness, sadness, frustration, anger, whatever makes the most sense, whatever you want to say, we encourage you to say it within limits, and within what you're comfortable with sharing. We want to tell the story. We want to tell the story of your children. We want to tell the story of America's children. And we know that your story is so similar to so many others across our nation. And the challenges in finding daycare, working multiple jobs, healthcare, disability challenges. Susie talked about her story. I've got my own with my son who couldn't be understood 80% of the time when he was 3 years old, and we had to fight to get services.
And last, don't be afraid to be sassy. I love a good sassy posts. We've been moving towards that on our own socials. So yeah, it doesn't all have to be serious. It can be funny. You can do a meme if you want. You can use a trend. So don't be afraid to go light and be
And
funny. Yeah.
bubbles are always welcome.
Good. She's in a bubble phase right now.
I may have had an industrial bubble machine for many years
Yeah.
that was at all the school events.
I don't know if you ever outgrow it, honestly. It's out.
Never.
It does not work well on a gym floor. It becomes a slip and slide. So, word of advice.
Good to know. Time and place, right?
Susie and Joe, thank you both so much for being here and for talking us through this. So happy to have all of this expertise around the table, from our families to the folks on our social media team to all of us. So thank you so much. This week, we also have some group meets at the end of this week on the power of numbers and sort of how we might bring folks in so it's pretty related actually in terms of social media, how we might bring others into the Think Babies fold, and to be big voices for little kids. So looking forward to seeing you there if you're available. And thank you so much for coming tonight. Anything, any last words from anybody?
I'll just echo the thank you. Thank you all for your time. Really look forward to getting to know each of you better. And if you have questions about how you can support us and we can support you on social content, and if you're interested in being one of our ambassadors, please let us know.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye all.
Thank you.